we go.
All right, guys. Look, pretty good first day in pads. Good chance to get up there and look at the tape, see what it actually looked like. But I thought overall, the energy was pretty good. One injury of note, Andrews Pete with a quad. So take a look at that, see where he's at. But other than that, made it out pretty healthy.
How'd you see everyone hold up in terms of the heat and the pads and all?
Yeah, I thought everybody held up pretty good. We didn't have really anybody go down with any type of heat-related issues today. So, look, we were only out in the heat for about an hour or so. Which is by design. But yeah, I think the guys are handling the heat pretty well.
Oh, when you say answer for the quad, obviously very common with the quad, but you don't think it's like similar?
No, I don't think those are related. Yeah, no. Trey was a quad tendon rupture.
Right.
Andrews, I think, is probably more of a strained quad, but we'll see. But I don't anticipate that being anywhere near the same deal.
Is the idea so tomorrow, a little longer practice, kind of work your way up to that 2 hours again? Add something?
Yeah. So really, today was mandated by the league, collectively bargained for. So it was an hour 45 practice today. Tomorrow's 2, and then really from there on out, we kind of have control over it.
Dennis, do you have a number what the heat index has to be on the equipment side?
No, you getting hot out there, Bobby?
Fans have more to watch this practice now. We can go inside.
Yeah. No, look, it's something that we talked about yesterday with the doctors and the training staff. We're going to be smart with how we do it, but yet, I think it's important that we get out into it and have to get acclimated to it.
Yeah, how would you just evaluate Marshawn's start to training camp?
Yeah, I'd say it's been pretty good. I think, look, the best thing that I've seen out of Lat in these first 5 days of practice is the way he's working, the way he's competing, and if he continues to practice that way, then I would anticipate that he'll perform at the level that we expect him to perform at, and that we're used to him performing at, and so that's been good to see.
Dennis, is he so good, would you say, that he can affect other guys around him? He can make other guys around him better?
Yeah, look, I mean, we put him in the most difficult situations that you can put a corner in. There's a lot of times that we put him on the opponent's best player, best receiver, and leave him on an island a little bit, and I think he wins more of those matchups than he loses. So it's a great for a play caller, it's a great tool to have, knowing that you can put him on their best receiver and be able to, take him out of the game, and it allows you to do some other things defensively to help out in some other areas.
Michael Thomas has looked pretty dynamic too. I think today was probably the day you spent more time on the ground, but contested catches, keeping the ball to the ground, ball security. How have you seen him ramp up? Yeah,
look, I think, here's the thing for Mike. Mike's highly, highly competitive, and he wants to be perfect on every single play. And the reality is we're working back into that. So, I think for him and for his confidence and being able to go out there and make some contested catches and make some plays offensively, I think that was good. Good for us to see, good for him to see, and we'll continue to, ramp him up as we go along.
Yeah, what did you think of Bresee?
Well, look, I'd have to go back and look at the tape to really evaluate how he was today. But I'd say overall, I've been impressed with him in terms of his, explosiveness, his quick twitch. There's some suddenness inside, some pass rush ability inside that, I don't know that we've had. In terms of the way that we've had some great power rushers, but I don't know that we've had the suddenness, the burst, the twitch, some of those things that we have.
As a follow-up, is that a hard spot for a rookie? You think that's one of the most difficult spots for a rookie to step in?
Yeah. So I would say this. I would say, along the defensive line, from a physical standpoint, I think that's a very difficult job to do. From a mental standpoint, I'd say that's not quite as challenging as some other positions. So, but the way that he's built, his size, his power, his speed, I mean, he's built to play that position.
Dennis, I saw the defensive backs, they have like these goggles, like almost like blinders or blackout goggles on doing a drill. Is that new, or I guess what is the purpose of that?
Well, the purpose of that is to make sure that they're putting their eyes in the right spot. I mean, a lot of times, players get in trouble because they start looking somewhere they're not supposed to be looking, and the emphasis there is making sure they got their eyes in the right spot and maintain keeping their eyes in the right spot.
You discussed eye discipline as an issue or not an issue, but a challenge sometimes for the secondary. Is that in the same conversation?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we say on defense, look right, do right, and so the most important thing is training guys to put their eyes in the right spot and then teaching them 1, 2, or 3. It's not that complicated. If he goes out, I want you to do this. If he goes in, I want you to do this. If he goes vertical, I want you to do this. It's pretty simple. It's just maintaining that discipline and putting your eyes in the right spot.
We didn't see the D-line go one-on-ones today. Is that something y'all gonna do later on in camp, or is it something?
Well, we've done it. It's just based on how the practice is. Typically, look, in a shorter practice like this, you can't get everything that you really like to get done. But as we get into some of the longer practices, basically anytime we go 7-on-7 with the skill guys, the O-line and D-line will be over there working together.
That vein, first set of one-on-ones with the receivers and defensive backs. It's obviously a difficult scenario for defensive backs. What are you looking for in that regard? What are you hoping they're going to improve upon?
Well, look, the most important thing in that situation, because that drill is really slanted towards the offense. There's some drills that are slanted towards the defense. That particular drill is a little bit slanted more towards the offense. And so really it's an opportunity for guys to really focus in on concentrating on working their technique. And if you work proper technique in that drill and have success there, that'll bode well as you get into full team situations where now there's a rush on the quarterback.
Dennis, a lot of new faces on that defensive line. How do you think those guys are coming together and they're looking through almost a week of camp?
Yeah, I've been impressed with the way they're working, and I've been impressed with the way they're looking right now. So, but we're just a short period into camp, so we got a long way to go, but we're headed in the right direction.
Coach, Carr's pretty far up there in that fourth quarter comeback stat. What makes him? I mean, if you look at his numbers, he's ahead of some guys who are legends in this league. What do you think makes him?
Yeah, look, I think. Look, his ability to. I think it starts here in his mind. Number one, he's got the confidence in his ability to come back, and I think, he's able to use his mind to put our offense, the offenses that he's been in charge of, in the best positions to be successful, and so I think that's probably, his greatest asset is his mind and the way that he processes information.
Dennis, there was a report that Alvin Kamara wanted to go talk to Roger Goodell this week ahead of any potential suspension. Was that something he talked to you about like how he felt compelled to do that, or?
Yeah, I think that was a discussion that initially started with him and Mickey, and I think Alvin really wants to, get out ahead of this and have a chance to visit with Roger and kind of give him his side of the story and look, at the end of the day, I think part of it is let's get some resolution to where we're at, and then let's move forward. So I think Alvin, is looking forward to putting this behind him and focusing in on what he has to do to be the best he can for our team this season.
Do you have any indication that there's going to be resolution anytime soon?
No.
From a coaching standpoint, even if it is a suspension, how helpful would it be just to know sooner than later?
Yeah, look, I mean, we're working, practicing, getting better. Alvin's going to be a huge part of what we do this year. We'll take things in stride, and how they happen. We'll deal with anything we have to deal with. We'll deal with it when the time's right.
Can you speak a little bit to what Clancy Baun has brought to the tight end room in the practice environment?
Yeah, I think experience. It's been a part of a lot of successful teams. Been a part of coaching a lot of Coach, from all the way back to when I was playing at, Texas A&M. So I think he's been a good addition. Okay, guys, thanks.
Thanks, Thank you.
Good. Good to see you.
So, Zach, the other day, Pete Werner was up here and he mentioned seeing you at your most confident. What do you think has gone into that sort of boost in confidence coming into camp this year?
I think it's age and overall knowledge of this defense. Once you really know the defense inside and out, you can start looking into really what the offense is doing and how they're trying to attack you in different ways. I feel like I've secured the knowing our defense part. Now I'm really starting to dive into offense and technique.
Do you feel like going up against this offense in particular is an advantage for you?
Just because I know this offense. I've been playing against this offense for 3 years now. Yeah.
But is there anything that this offense does that maybe prepares you for other offenses around the NFL? Because I know there are multiple versatile moving pieces around all that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of weapons on this offense. Wide receiver room, tight end, running back. Like, they can attack you from any way, and I feel like a lot of other offenses in the league are like that, or maybe not as much as we even have. So it's really preparing us for what we'll see in the future.
Zach, what would you say you need to improve on the most out of better? Is it pass coverage skills, or like run fits, or what would you say? Because you know you can rush the pass with special teams. Where would you say something you really have to do?
That's a good question. I just think my overall technique. I mean, in college I never played off the ball, so I don't have necessarily all the instincts and technique, basic fundamentals that Pete and DeMario and other guys do. So I'm constantly trying to perfect those and critique those. So it's those little things.
Zach, firstly in pads, how much did that change the competitiveness of practice?
Yeah, I mean, first day of pads, we're ready to hit somebody, we're ready to go. So everyone's kind of tuned up, fired up a little bit, and it just upped the intensity a lot.
You seen what Caden did last year. Is that motivating for you, thinking you could kind of follow maybe a similar path within this defense?
Yeah, definitely. We play very similar roles. I mean, both edge rushers in college, and then came here and forced to do a mix of it all, and I think that really helped him in his process and his progress. I mean, he's a tremendous player, and he kind of showed me the blueprint for how this kind of in-between mix of a player is done.
How did he, I remember him saying that he had like a meeting with Dennis about not being, about needing to improve in space. Like, how did he go from being like a guy who's an on-ball edge rusher type in college to being a guy they can count on in space?
Yeah, it's just working it every day.
Yeah.
I mean, every day after practice, he was out there working and doing something, whether it was pass rush or practicing tackling in space or fitting up routes or run fits. It's just work and time, really.
Zach, do you feel like there's an opportunity for you this year that maybe there wasn't quite in previous years? Like, do you feel like, without saying it stupidly, like this is sort of your time right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm kind of. It is my time. It's been my time. Like, it's time to go, and I gotta step up to the challenge and do what I do.
What was the conversation like with DA to have when Caden left? Because it still seems like the confidence in that position group with you, Mario, and Pete is still quite high. And like you said, more of an opportunity. But do you have a conversation with somebody basically saying, hey, we're counting on you to be an integral?
I mean, there wasn't really any conversations. It was just kind of known, like, Zach, it's time to step up. I had a conversation with myself, I guess I could say. I got to step up and do my thing and just play ball.
One of the things that we've kind of been talking about with some of the defensive players is like the overall numbers are pretty good defensively last year, but the turnover numbers weren't. So what's kind of the emphasis this summer, turning that around and getting that right?
Yeah, every off season or every training camp we have numbers on the board with punch outs and takeaways, and we're constantly working it and always trying to punch the ball carrier, try to get that ball out, and obviously interceptions as well. But I just think us doing that helps the offense as well, prepare for other teams trying to punch out the ball too. So we got to get ours, and we're trying to help the offense as well.
All right, thanks, Zach.
Yeah, thanks you. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
What's going on?
Bryan, how much did you need to get in pads to kind of get a better assessment?
Yeah, I mean, I think, obviously the game's played in pads, so, it was good to kind of just get used to everything, get a feel for the plays and all that kind of stuff without the pads on. And but like I said, the game's played in pads, so, that's when the real contact comes, and you can really just kind of, it's just a different feel when you have pads on and the double teams come and that kind of stuff. So it's obviously important, and to be in them up until, the first week until we play is it's just something that your body needs to get used to it. So,
Bryan, do you feel quick right now? I mean, I know we've talked a lot about you being, maybe healthiest you've been in a long time. Do you feel quick? Do you feel that out on the field right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I feel healthy, really healthy right now, and it's been a while since I felt really, really healthy. So it feels great. So yeah, I feel fast, just feel good.
Is that the part of your game that maybe people underestimate because of your size? Is the quickness?
I think maybe it can be. I'm a bigger D tackle, taller, kind of. I'm not 280, 305, 310. So, I think a lot of people probably don't expect me to be as quick as I am. So, some people might not expect that to come from me.
Bryan, is there a tough balance when it comes to pass rush moves, deciding how versatile to be? Like, do you try to narrow it down? Or?
I think it just kind of depends on who you're playing, Obviously, you want to have a few moves that you're, kind of set on and that you can rely on all the time. But depending on who you're playing, that might have to change. So, film study and that kind of stuff can help a lot with what moves you bring into a game that week. So, you obviously don't want to have 20 different moves, but just have a couple that kind of, might work against that guy, and then always have your ones that you rely on all the time.
I saw your swim move at least once today. Is that how high is that in your go-tos?
I think it just kind of depends on the week. Definitely something that is I've used since I was young. So just something that I've kind of kept and can always rely on.
They moved you around quite a bit today, right? They moved you around.
Yeah.
Do you like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Did you have a chance to pick the brain of Leroy Glover yet?
Say it again.
Did you have a chance to talk to pick the brain of Leroy Glover?
Yeah, he's been great to have in the D-line room. He's helped us a lot. He's sitting through meetings, running drills out there, and just somebody when there's different stuff that might pop up on a play that you can go to and talk to him, and he's seen a lot of things. So just trying to pick his brain on some things and see different things that helped him through different stuff has been really good for us.
Bryan, can you take us just inside like the chemistry building process with your new teammates, like some of the stuff you guys are doing to learn each other and how you play and play off each other?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have a pretty close knit group, so just hanging out. There's not a lot of time outside of the building right now, but everyone just hanging out all the time, and then just watching film. I think to work with each other kind of helps a lot. You can kind of walk through things and just see how each other plays, how different things, how different people react to different things, and that has been kind of big for us, just to kind of it's a pretty new D-line room, so just learning how each other plays and move out there, so it's been big.
I know this is just like your first experience, but does it help that maybe that there's a lot of new guys and there isn't necessarily like a super established, like you guys are kind of defining it now as you go?
Yeah, I mean, I obviously don't know anything different yet, just coming in, but yeah, I mean, everyone has been super accepting of the new guys and just everyone coming in, so we've all gotten along very well, so obviously don't know any different from that, so.
Where would you say, one, your comfort level in this defense is, on top of that, you haven't had any game action yet, how much of it right now is just instinct rather than, this is what this guy did to me, this is what,
Yeah, I mean, I think at this level you kind of have to rely on technique, so it can't really be as much instinct as maybe beforehand in my career. So just learning the defense is obviously very, very important. Every little step matters on the D line. Everything happens so quick. So just trying to really understand it. Once you kind of understand where everyone's coming from, what's going on, that can kind of really help slow the game down and give you a better understanding of what to expect. And so that's been a big part of just kind of what I've been trying to focus in on in this camp. Just really understanding the defense and really working on my technique.
How has that come, and how do you feel? Are you okay with your own performance through 5 practices?
Yeah. I mean, I felt good. Obviously, always room to improve. So, I've been going in after we watch the film every day from practice. So, just looking at things every day that I can get better at, different drills that'll help me get better at those kind of things, and just trying to continue to grow.
But when you watch the film, you're okay with what you're seeing?
Yeah, I mean, good things and bad things always. There's always good stuff and bad stuff, but nothing's as good as it seems or as bad as it seems. So. And it's still camp now, so just trying to practice and get better.
Any one or two areas that have stood out that you're trying to hone in on and get better at? I know everything, but I mean that you've learned from here that maybe is like a new skill you have to develop at this level.
Yeah, I mean, I think footwork is really, really big in this league, just because everything happens so fast and people are just moving so fast. Everyone's bigger, stronger, so that kind of stuff you can always rely on. So my footwork, hand placement, that kind of stuff is just the little things that go a long way. So those are definitely some things that I've been working on. Just hitting the sled and just bringing it kind of back. Just hitting the sled, getting hands, slowing things down, getting hand placement right, and that kind of stuff. So.
Bryan, as far as looking at week 1, well, welcome to the NFL. Huh? You played the Titans and Derrick Henry's coming downhill. So from the get-go, you got to be able to stop the run.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Hey, not that South Carolina is a cold weather state, but does it feel hotter here, or does this just feel like kind of normal heat that you've experienced?
Yeah, I mean, South Carolina got pretty warm. It's definitely hot down here. Something that you got to get used to. But just keep pushing through it. So.
You said you felt like a track star during the combine.
Yeah.
And then I think you also mentioned maybe 305 was your weight goal. Just wondering, like, the speed and the weight goal, along with melting in the sun out here. How is that challenge?
Yeah, I mean, I was a little late for the combine, obviously, just to run. I think I was right under 300 pounds. So, but yeah, just trying to maintain, obviously, through practices, just sweating a lot. You lose a lot of water, so weight kind of can fluctuate up and down, and. But, I mean, we getting lifts in and that kind of stuff just to keep your body feeling good and just trying to, it's tough to maintain right now, but trying to stay in that kind of weight goal, all that kind of stuff is really important to keep everything kind of intact. So, been focusing on it. It's tough, but, been trying to focus in on that.
All throughout your career, you always, in the media, kind of like surefire first round pick, always projected for stuff. Do you feel like there's any pressure to perform on your career?
I mean, just I wouldn't say pressure, just kind of, I think I put more pressure on myself than anything from the outside, just to, live up to what, I have in mind for myself rather than, outside pressure and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I think a lot of it just kind of comes from inside for me.
How have you rotated in so far? I mean, have they got a set plan for that?
It's different every day. Yeah, we're just kind of moving around and, switching up, who you play with, just kind of, getting everyone to play with each other and rotating that way so everyone can kind of get a feel for each other. So.
You have gotten a few opportunities with the ones. Is there anything that's come out of just those communications with Cam Jordan, who I know you didn't install a lot with the first time around?
Yeah, I wouldn't say too much yet. There's not, we're not heavy into like third and long and that kind of stuff where there'll probably be a lot more at that time. But, we're kind of just, it's a lot of quick game, run game, that kind of stuff right now. So just kind of hold your gap down right now. So.
Thank you.
Yep,
Thank you.
absolutely. Thank you, guys.
How y'all doing? Everybody good? I'm good. Hot, but I'm good though.
Hey man, how's that? You got a lot of new faces in that defensive line. How's everybody kind of gelling?
I feel like so far we're gelling pretty good. Doing a good job. Got some real explosive guys that we brought in with Shep and Bryan. And then we got Colin in the middle, big body, able to stop the run, things like that. So I feel like we got a lot more explosive on the D line and just ready to get more penetration to the backfield. And I see us doing that this year.
What has been your early impressions of Bryan Bresee?
Very physical, I want to say. He throws his moves real hard, and he always going full speed, I want to say. So that's a plus. Somebody, he's not scared to make mistakes. If he does make a mistake, he's going full speed. So can't coach effort, and that's one thing that he brings. So that's one thing I love about him.
Malcolm, is the way Colin Saunders has sort of ingratiated himself into a new room, is that rare even among free agent veterans? He seems like a guy who thinks it's important to be one of the guys.
It's pretty much just his personality, I want to say. He's a guy that talks a lot, real funny, but I guess I want to say he knows when to go to work. He knows when we're on the field it's time to go to work. But this is a guy that brings good energy, type of guy you want around you, in that hole with you when we're getting ready to go to work and things like that. So great guy, great energy every day, and I love coming to work, seeing that smile on his face when I get to the locker room and things like that. So it's gelling real good, I want to say.
Malcolm, where are you at right now weight-wise? You at where you want to be?
Yeah, I feel good. I've been weighing in right now around 295 to 300 pounds. So about the weight I was around like my rookie year. So feeling good. Dropped a lot of body fat, put on more muscle this year, feeling more explosive, ready to get off the ball.
I mean, by design, obviously, but I mean, was there any reason in particular? Had you tried to add weight and decided you liked better at
yeah, we just played, different style of plays on the D-line. The last few years, I want to say, Coach Grantham coming in, he said we're getting ready to get off the ball and things, get penetration, get in the backfield, disrupt plays, more things like that. So I just felt like it was need to drop weight and become more explosive, I want to say.
What is the internal review of the run defense? It had obviously become almost this team's number one bread and butter for a while, and so was last year. What's the focus to get it back up to that stage?
Just got to be a mindset. Got to be all us pulling that cord on, pulling that string on one cord, playing together. But also, getting in there, seeing the plays, knowing how we're going to react to plays. Everybody thinking the same mindset. When we get a stretch play, we're going for width and depth right here, and we pulling the chain down here on the backside. So we got to build that fence to go on the 45, things like that. So just getting back to, getting that penetration and getting back to everybody pulling that string on one accord, building the fence and, stopping the run. I feel like we got away from that a lot. And the front seven, the D-line and linebackers been on the same page. I see that coming back. We got back to 9 on 7 a day, and we like what we saw out of that today. But also with us being more explosive, getting out the ball, we're able to leak back there and, might get a TFL on this one. But, we're not getting that TFL. We all got to be on the same string, pulling that string right here, building that fence and making sure we have no leakage in it.
Whose analogy is that? Who came up with that as sort of like the visual?
You talking about pulling the card?
Yeah.
It's just football talk, I want to say. Man, I heard my dad say that.
Yeah.
Man, I hear he was a defensive coordinator, so hearing him talk about that all since I was young, and just knowing how important that is you're only strongest man on the end line, only strongest your weakest link. So if somebody's not pulling the card, that's a leak right there, so it's just an analogy,
Do you feel more explosive with the less weight? Like, can you feel it out there?
Yeah, I feel a lot more explosive. I feel like I'm pushing off the ball a lot more, not playing on the line of scrimmage, I want to say, and, focus on getting more knockback. Yeah.
Malcolm, if you guys were able to make more plays in the backfield, do you think that would help get those turnover numbers up kind of where you need them to be?
Yeah, because doing that we're able to get to instead of playing on the line of scrimmage, we're able to get to the quarterback and disrupt him. He's not sitting back having a good pocket, and the more we're able to make him feel uncomfortable, we might get him to throw a ball before a second before he didn't want to, or maybe we didn't get there, but we've been getting so much pressure the whole game that clock in his head is sped up, and we might get a underthrown or overthrow, and T5 might have an interception. We're getting ready to go score a touchdown with it, things like that. So just being more explosive off the line of scrimmage and focusing on getting more feel, more just making the quarterback uncomfortable in the pocket, I want to say. And like we always say, we got to get to that kill zone spot, 4-yard spot, interior, because we got great edge rushers, so they're going to do their job. Quarterback's going to step up. So just getting more push in that interior, getting to that kill zone spot, 4 yards in the backfield, that's something that we focus on a lot, getting around. I guess it's a penalty now, but getting around the quarterback's legs and things, making them uncomfortable, things like that. Where you can't step into the throw, or where you just can't get everything on it. That's an underthrown ball right now. Now we got lack for interception, things like that. So just causing more disruption and focusing on getting more strip sacks, things like that. We want to have some fun too.
Malcolm, looking at the relationships you developed going with Philly, do you still stay in touch with David Archuleta, Shai Jordan?
Yeah, man. Shai called me almost. I talked to Shai yesterday. We had an off day. Yeah, man. Me and Shai, we've been together for 3 years, but that bond that we formed, both coming, pretty much the same path to the league, undrafted, making our 153 first year, and every year after that. That's a bond that we have. I feel like we're gonna have a bond for the rest of our life. With Big O, I still hit a Big O, ask him questions and things like that, because you got to know when you're playing with those guys, Big O, those guys, I feel like is going to go down as some of the best D tackles I might ever play with. David Onyemata, Sheldon Rankins, guys like that. So, and me building that relationship with him where I can call him at any time, and able to just have that big brother, little brother relationship with him is big for me. I probably don't call him when we playing them and everything like that. Look forward to seeing those guys. Look forward to competing. When I know what they bring, they know what we bring. So.
Got time for one more.
If your name's not Cam Jordan, it feels like you're getting a day with the ones every other day, every third day, a lot of rotation. Is that even more than you feel like this sort of the competition they're talking about and rotating guys into the mix across the defensive line? Does that feel like even more than previous games?
Yeah, I guess you could say, like I never focus on, numbers competition. I just focus on, coming out here doing my job. And they tell me when I'm in there, I don't care who's in there, who I'm with, the threes, the ones, the twos, no matter who it is, you got to go to work, because they're trying to go to work against you. So, I feel like my dad always tell me the cream always rises to the top. And, that's something, just focusing on yourself, and, you can't run your race for nobody else. You only can run your race. So that's the only thing I really focus on. The competition level has obviously been at an all-time high, with a fresh start in that room and things like that. But, guys just getting ready to go to work. Everybody pushing each other to be better, I want to say, with the competition level. But if you look at this roster overall, I want to say so much turnover we had on it this year. It's a competition level at if you look at everybody, everywhere on the roster, so, a few spots, guys that been here for a while, things like that. So, but yeah, this whole camp is just a competition. Every day we come here battling to make each other better, and I think that's going to help us out when the season comes, because, we already in that mode of, fighting and things like that.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all.
Hey, we have James right here at this podium, and we'll have to take over.
So, James?
How you guys doing?
Yeah, how are you doing?
Doing good. And some air conditioning. Doing much better.
It's been a unique rotation, rotating within sessions.
Yep.
Obviously, you've played both positions, but do you like the way that gets you acclimated?
I do, honestly. The last 2 seasons, 3 seasons, unfortunately, we've had some injuries on the offensive line, and guys have had to move around. And I think, particularly early in camp, this is going to be a great thing for us. One, to get some reps next to a few different guys, in case some unfortunate thing does happen, but also, it's giving us more competition, and I think it's able to keep some guys fresher too as well. So I think there are some good things that we're going to come from this, and early in camp, I think it's great. I know the guys are liking it. The coaches are liking it. It's getting us more familiar with each other and understanding our teammates a little bit better.
As a lineman, a little more energy when the pads come on.
Yeah, definitely. It's real. I think it's easy as a lineman, offense or defensive lineman, to make excuses when we're in jerseys or, the little shell type of things that we wear. So now there's no excuses. It's real football. We're playing. We can understand now, okay, here's what changes when the pads come on. Here's how the speed changes. Here's how your technique matters more now than ever. So it's real football, and it's why we're here.
Are you okay with the notion that you're sort of competing for a starting spot at multiple spots? Are you okay with being that guy?
Yeah, I think this is my 10th season, and the 9 before have all looked pretty similar to this for me, and it's made a career for me, and so I'm very grateful for that. And I think anytime you're in the rotation or you're in the conversation for a starting spot, that's exactly where you want to be. And you go out and you understand that if you're in that situation, the coaches trust you to a certain degree that you can be the guy to get the job done. And so I think just understanding, what that says about you when they put you in there, and understanding the importance of each rep at each position that I'm playing to try to, earn that starting spot for the beginning of the season.
Is your skill set literally such that you don't have a best spot, that you literally can be as good at 2 or 3 different spots?
I like to think so. I'm sure the coaches have their own opinion, but I like to think so. Yeah, I like to think that no matter where I'm at, they're getting the same caliber of player in me, whether I'm left tackle or left guard, and that's something that I pride myself in. I want to be able to come in if I'm coming off the bench or substituting for an injured player. I want to be able to come in and there's no drop off, and that's what I want the guys on the team. I want Derek to trust that that's going to happen, and I want the people next to you, I want them to trust the same thing.
And Jay, I was going to ask along those lines. I mean, when you first came here, obviously you were projected to be a backup, and now that they're giving you every opportunity to win a starting job, not knowing where that might be, I mean, does that show that you feel like you've earned something based on merit here with the staff?
I think there's something to be said for that, sure. I think if they didn't trust me, I wouldn't be getting these reps. They just leave me down in the second group. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity, and I think the past years have been important in setting up where we are today. But I also know that this league is all about what have you done for me lately. So last year was great. The years before that were great. But now all that matters is what's happening on the field.
Is it easy to go back and forth like that, tackle guard, or are you just kind of used to it at this stage?
I think I am used to it. I've had a lot of experience doing it. I'll say I think it's more difficult to go from the left side of the line to the right side because your stance switches. So your feet switch, your footwork is backwards, and particularly your ability to brace against a power rush is a lot more difficult. So understanding the muscles, they completely flip. So I think that's more difficult going side to side. So I am grateful that it's left guard and left tackle. That makes it a little bit easier.
Now, Jay, with that being said, how would you describe that you can see tackles that can play guard, but not necessarily guards that can play tackle? Is it with their footwork?
I think it depends. The positions have a different demand, a lot more strength inside, ability to sit down and power rush and move a guy off the ball. And then at tackle, you got to have more finesse, more foot speed, ability to keep up with that defensive end. So I think it can change depending on the player that you're talking about, because some guys are able to translate better. They understand, your strengths at tackle aren't necessarily strengths at guard, and your strengths at guard aren't necessarily strengths at tackle. So I think it's when they can understand, okay, this is what I need to do inside, or this is what I need to do outside, that gives them a better chance to be able to move around and have success.
What's the biggest thing you've noticed with Trevor Penning coming back after some time off?
He looks fast. He looks fresh. I mean, obviously everyone knows he's huge, big, strong guy. But his quickness, man, he looks really good early on. I think he's excited. I know he's excited to be out there and be healthy. I know he's chomping at the bit, to get all these reps and get better throughout training camp. So for him, it's, just one day at a time, focus in, do the little things and the walkthroughs, off the field, rehab, all those things to put yourself in the best position, because he has all the skill. And it's going to be a matter of him just getting those reps, and he can be a great player.
When you talk about the finesse and the foot speed, he's got all that.
And that's why someone's a first-round pick, right? Because they have those unique physical traits that a lot of people don't have. I mean, the guy weighs, I don't know what he weighs, but 330. Let's just say he's 330, and he can move with a defensive end that weighs 260. But at the same time, he can move a 3 technique off the ball 4 or 5 yards. So it's a unique skill set for sure. You just got to learn the techniques and how to harness that in. But that is going to put him in a good position for success for sure.
Yeah, what's the number one harnessing thing that by the end of last season that he knew he was going to have to bring to the field when he got back on it.
Say that again.
Like in harnessing his skills, like
Yeah.
the stuff that's not natural. Like,
Yeah,
what has
and
he had to work on most of it?
I think that for him, it's just like he has this motor, right? Like he'll block someone for 11 seconds, which the fact that you can even stay on someone for 11 seconds in the NFL is impressive. But just reining in and understanding, like, okay, like this play, like I can do it, I can get after it. And then some plays being like, okay, this looks like it might be a pressure, I need to be a little off, wait, let them come to me type of situation. So I think it's just understanding the big picture of the game and, when he needs to bring it or when he needs to, just slow down a little bit, if you will. But he'll get those reps. He'll get those reps.
What do you think of Bresee?
Who's that?
Bresee.
He's flash for sure. I think as a rookie, D lineman, in my experience, the coolest thing to see is a guy that comes in and has natural pass rush ability. He understands how to, move his hips out of the hole and give the offensive lineman a small target. He understands that. He knows how, he tries the first move, it doesn't work. He's going to go into a counter very quickly, which is typically something players learn as they get older. So it's been cool to see a guy come in, highly touted as he is, and we invested a lot in him, but he's coming early and he's flashed and made some good plays, particularly rushing the passer.
Coach said he's sudden.
He is, yeah, very sudden, has a lot of quicks, and a lot of times really can give you a look, closer to a defensive end maybe than a defensive tackle. So it's good for us.
I've heard a couple different people now bring up just Eric McCoy as being the leader of that offensive line room.
Yep.
So I'm curious in your time here if he's grown in that regard.
He has, absolutely. Fortunate to be really close with Eric and just seeing, I think, his maturity as a leader, and he understands, when you need to lead with emotion and energy, and then he understands when, you need to step off to the side and talk to a guy, whether that's encouragement or challenging them in some type of way. It's been really cool to see how he stepped into that role. He just signed a 5-year deal last year, I think. So anytime someone signs a big deal like that, I think the big picture is everyone understands that, hey, odds are he'll probably be in the room, for the next 3 or 4 years at least. And he has understood that, and he knows that, hey, guys are going to be looking to me to be the leader. And that's part of signing a contract like that, is you take on that responsibility. So I'm happy to see him step into that. He's doing a great job of it, and I think he's a great person for guys to be able to look to for advice, for technique questions, but also just for friendship, encouragement, whatnot.
Beneficial when it's a center being that guy too.
Yeah, because he's always the guy's communicating, right? So, on the field logistically, he's making a lot of calls and putting guys on the right people, but also, if he's the leader, that just it's kind of an all-in-one position, so it's a good thing.
James, how is it when you talk about communication, when you're left guard with McCoy, are you all on the same wavelength, and when you're at tackle, you kind of like you pass it down the line, left guard to left tackle? Just so you can explain that.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think the communication aspect is pretty easy for me, whether I'm playing guard or tackle, because generally you're yelling these calls out, right? So the goal is, if I yell out a call at the line of scrimmage, Ram is going to hear it on the total opposite side. Now, sometimes things have to get echoed down, sure, but the communication you would hope would be loud enough where everyone can hear it on every play, regardless of position.
James, you got to work and see Derek long, up close and personal. What's kind of been your impressions of how you've been able to come in here and make a difference in the offense?
He's really great. He's great as a communicator, as a leader. He's very, very encouraging. He's always there. He's always, asking questions. Hey, what can we do better? Did you like this? Did you not like this? Or, how can we change this to be better? He's always looking for those answers. So it's really promising. And on top of all those things, those kind of intangible things, his ability to throw the ball, make the throws down the field, accuracy, on time, the way he works in the pocket, it's all great. It's really exciting. We're very, very excited about what this offense can be. And being a part of the offensive line, we know how important our job is, because we know he can get the job done at a very high level. And so we have, we're feeling that pressure even more so, that, man, we gotta get the job done so that he can work, and so that all of these skill players, we don't have enough footballs on the field at once to get enough touches for our guys. So it's important that we do our job and do a great job to make this offense go.
When Mike Thomas is doing his thing and you can get those quick balls out, how does that change your mindset as an offensive lineman, knowing, like, I just got to hold this block for however long?
Yeah, it's a huge help. Obviously, his ability to get open, catch the ball, and even break a tackle and make big plays is huge for us as far as getting momentum going. But also it allows us to call different plays and allows the offensive line to change up their pass sets, give the defensive line a different look instead of us just setting back, and kind of being more passive. It allows us at times to be more aggressive. So I'm very grateful to have a player like that we can drop back and get the ball out in a second. But it's able to give defensive linemen different looks, which is good for offensive linemen.
James, going into your 10th year, I'm always intrigued. You're going into your 10th year. How did you end up at North Carolina from Indiana, University of North Carolina?
Yeah, so Sam Pittman was the offensive line coach. He's now the head coach at Arkansas. He was offensive line coach at UNC, had several schools come visit me at high school, and he was the only coach that didn't negatively recruit any other school. And to me, that really stood out. It said a lot about him. He was concerned about what North Carolina had, that he wasn't worried about all the other schools, all the other outside noise, and I just appreciated that. I think it said a lot about who he was, and that turned out to be true, and very, very grateful for that experience.
Thanks, James.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Now we got another James Walsh.
How's it gone so far? What's the transition been like for you, and where do you see maybe your role with this offense?
Transition's been pretty good. Just filling in with guys, just chatting it up, just trying to get a feel for how things go around here. As far as my role, I just see myself as a physical guy, getting in there blocking safeties, making the grimy catches, and just doing what I have to do to help this offense.
Are you healthy now? I know it's always been something you've had to battle throughout your career.
As far as I know, as far as I feel 100%. I feel ready to go. Everything feels fine.
How did you come across the Saints? Take us back to that interest level.
So it actually came out of nowhere. My agent, he was talking to the Giants for the longest, and Saints happened, and I guess it just kind of all worked out. Once I got here, it just felt like I fit in. I fit in here very well.
Where would you rank this
Definitely. I mean, I've only played at 3 places, I guess. So, I mean, definitely top 3 for sure. I enjoyed my time at all the places that I've played at, but here it's a different feel. It's like grimy. Like guys go to work here, and from my background, I mean that's what I love.
What have been some of your impressions of working with Cody Burns in the receiver room?
He's a perfectionist. He likes everything right, which is what we need. I mean, the offense has to be dialed in at all times. Guys have to be dialed in. You have to know your positions. And he's also like a player's coach. He knows how to relate to us, the things we go through, and just how to talk to a receiver.
I don't know if it's rare for the first thing that you say you want to be is physical. I mean, that obviously is a skill set for the position that get players on teams and get players on the field. I mean, do you think your blocking ability is a standout for you?
I mean, it has to be. I mean, we got like a lot of guys that are smaller, faster, that are going to be doing different things. So there's got to be guys that do the dirty work, So and I'm all for it.
And obviously, the thing I was familiar with that people, before they study you is a lot of deep catches. I mean,
Right.
Sometimes they go hand in hand if you're in that play action formation. And
run game sets up the pass game for sure. For sure.
And Jay, you look obviously football being your first love, but where do horses come in? I think the horses.
Oh, man. I was actually talking to Jonathan Abram kind of about the same deal. He's got horses. Horses is kind of like my deal to get my mind off football, just kind of, give me some peace off the field. And I would kind of put them about even.
And being from Texas and, obviously horses.
I eat, sleep, and breathe horses, man. I love them.
Embracing blocking, is that something that's been true of you dating back to high school and college, or that's something you learned is valued?
Definitely something I learned. Back in high school, I was all about catching the football. Didn't know it as much as a receiver needs to block, but in this kind of offense, it's needed because it sets up the pass game. If you don't block, guys, you're not going to get balls down the field.
At what point along the way? Was that something you learned in the NFL? Or
Definitely college. College. Casey Dunn, man, he was on me every single day about blocking. We did blocking drills just about every day.
Were you always that physical? I mean, did you add weight
it's another thing that grew. Like it adapted to me. I put the work in with him, like I said, and it just stayed with me ever since.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Oh, Jeff.